Guys, stay with me as we expand our knowledge with videos from all over the internet that's going to make you question reality. Let's just start.
Let's talk about it. Let's call it out for what it is. You know those people, you bring something to your attention and they be like, okay, but you did such and such. Like anytime that you want to address something, they use that moment to address what's on their mind. Let's talk about what that really is. You know, some people, they really enjoy positioning themselves to always maintain and be a victim. They must be the one sacrificing. They must be the one that's vindicated. And that is manipulation. That is emotional manipulation. These are people who take pride in wanting to look a certain way. They have an image that I am a great partner and I'm just always being done wrong. No, because you don't listen. You're not open to criticism. You're not open to change. You're not open to self-reflection. You're not open to self-accountability. Matter of fact, you will manipulate and dance around and gaslight a situation so that way, instead of you addressing your issues, you can tear the person down who's already disappointed in you in the first place. It's manipulation.
Let's talk about having the courage to walk away from relationships and jobs that don't work for us. Okay. You know in your body when something's not working for you, when it feels toxic, or it's dragging you down, or you have any doubt about it. If you have any doubt about your job or your relationship, you need to get out. And here's why. When you jump, you fly. When I left the Housewives, I was making millions of dollars. And my business manager was like, how can you walk away from this? And I also left my Skinny Girl deal where I was making millions of dollars. I was only going to do my podcast, and I just didn't want to be there anymore. I jumped and I flew, and I created an entire other career. I thought I was sort of going to downsize, lean towards retirement, just focus on philanthropy and my daughter. And by just being myself and being honest, I ended up quadrupling my business. Because it was out of truth. It was out of something inside my body that I didn't want to be doing anymore. And the bandwidth and the time suck and the toxicity suck of being on the Housewives was all encompassing. Like, even if you weren't shooting all the time, you were talking about things you didn't want to talk about, to people you didn't want to talk to, fighting about things you didn't want to fight, pretending it was real in the press and living that lifestyle and walking away from it like took a layer off of me. And relationships are the same. When you jump, you fly. If you don't feel whole in it, you know. If it's not, yes, it's no. In business and in personal. Now, not everyone can walk away from their job. I'm not saying that. But if you can start a plan and have some courage, jump. You will fly.
I'm 54, and if you're younger than me, here's some really hard financial truths that are probably going to make you uncomfortable, but they just might save you. Your dream life is possible, but not with your current financial habits. If you need a payment plan to afford it, you can't afford it. You're not saving money when you buy something on sale. You still spent, you just spent less.
True
if
that.
you don't control your money,
So
someone else will.
True.
And guess what? They're not going to use it in your best interest. A credit card is not an emergency fund. If you don't take the time to understand money, you will spend your life working for someone who does. Financial stress, it's self-inflicted. You can't retire on vibes and optimism. You're going to have to work until you die if you don't start investing. Your bank account reflects your choices, not your excuses. You don't believe me? Take a look. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the life that you're building. What are you voting for? Security or poverty? You don't need a financial miracle. You need financial discipline. Stop praying for money and begin managing what you have. Your future is being sold off one impulse purchase at a time, and you will never escape the cycle of being broke until you admit that you are the problem. Hope that helps.
One thing that I admire about men, when they get cheated on, they leave. And they could have cheated on their woman 100 times. But the moment that woman tries to get her lick back and she cheats and he finds out, he's gone. All that, oh, but you did it to me. They don't give a fuck about none of that. Relationship is over. A lot of them have more self-respect for themselves to just walk away.
You will face some of your most confronting and possibly devastating moments right before you quantum shift. This could be a breakup, it could be a job loss, it could be a business failure, a health issue, and it's the universe's way of bringing up all the energetic garbage that tied you to your old reality and asking you, do you still want this? Because you cannot carry this forward. And in that process of evolving and confronting yourself, it's actually you energetically saying, yes, I am ready to create my new reality. And that can be the biggest catalyst to completely changing your life.
I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, this is something I wish I knew sooner. And I recently started practicing it in my life, like really practicing it, and the results have been insane. So here we are. And as always, I'm gonna share it with you because I love you. The way to get what you want is by detaching from what it is you want. Hold on, hear me out. The law of detachment says in order to obtain anything in the physical world, you have to relinquish your attachment to it. And it's like, bro, come on. Our whole lives, they created an illusion that we had to control everything in order to have what we wanted. We've all been around long enough to know that's not true. So we now know that in order to have something, we have to detach from it. And I'm going to use psychology and spirituality to explain why. So we're human beings. We are both human and beings. So the human side of us has to do with thoughts, the brain, and survival, while the being side of us has to do with feeling, intuition, and growth. Because we are two things in one, we are in a constant battle between both sides, our mind and body versus our intuition and our spirit. And the way to really live a whole life would be learning how to effectively balance the two. So let's assess. From a psychological standpoint, when relying on our brain, we can only receive things to the capacity of which we've experienced. If we've never seen something, we won't know it's possible for us, period. That's just how the brain operates. So in order to get more than what we've experienced, in order to get something that we have not yet had, the goal would be to get our brain, which has limitations because it can only go as far as what is experienced, out of the way, so that our soul, which is limitless, can then take over. And we do this by detaching. Detaching helps us to stop using our brain to think about whatever it is, which removes the limitations and opens up the door for more. Crazy. When we let go, we align with the flow of life. We get it all, which is basically what I said before. Letting go opens up numerous possibilities because you have released yourself of your limiting beliefs. Sticking to a specific outcome or a specific way of going about something reduces the possibility of coming into all that we can have. This doesn't mean that you have to give up the intention to create your desire. It doesn't mean don't do anything. You just have to give up the details of how it gets done. Your duty is to want something and remain positive about it. And it's really hard to go from wanting something to be different to just accepting that you don't have it, right? But detaching first puts us in a mindset that is neutral. And in the neutrality, the universe can go to work. Love y'all forever. Mwah.
Men move from unenlightened to enlightened, profane to sacred, to the divine, whatever you want to call that transformation, when they lose themselves. This is why psychedelics, where you lose your sense of ego, tends to be very healthy for men. Messages on being empathetic and compassionate and forgiveness and losing yourself, very healthy for men. But women get to that place from the other side of the spectrum. Women move into divinity and sacredness when they actually claim themselves, when they step into their own power and voice, when they don't apologize for taking up space, when they don't automatically force themselves to forgive because they need to sit in their anger because something was wrong. One of my biggest regrets in all of my studies of religion and philosophy and theology, which is almost entirely a male-dominated space, is trying to take in advice that wasn't fitting me. The reason I don't take spiritual advice from men now is not because I hate men, not because I don't value healthy masculinity in my life. It's not because of any of that. It's because it just doesn't fit me the same way that advice from women hits me. And I can't tell you how many women have come to me now who tried for years to destroy their ego and wondering why it wasn't working because it just wasn't the thing that they needed. They didn't even have one to destroy. But because of internalized patriarchy, I valued, the books in philosophy that I was reading or the spiritual books that I was reading from men who meditate on mountains for 30 years far more than I was valuing my local yoga teacher, who's also a mom, who is just trying to embody her spirituality. And I valued the male's advice more than my local yogi teacher, who has a life more similar to mine. And that cost me a lot of years where I just felt like I wasn't spiritual, or I just felt like something is wrong, or this advice isn't working for me, so then I must be broken in some way. So I do limit the advice from men that I take into my life, and it really isn't because I hate men. I'm in a very healthy relationship with a healthy masculine man. It's because this concept of balance, of ego, of awareness of ego and shadow and inner peace, it's often, like if we're going to generalize, that men and women come at that from different sides of the spectrum. And so there's some advice that just really isn't applicable to me. But even outside of religion, that is not permission that women have kind of any kind of modeling to give themselves. I've been entrenched in the spiritual space, and it took me 20 years to find voices that pointed that out to me, where it finally started to make sense to me.
I ain't never made a crash out video. Never. But I don't know why. It's always the most kindest, most nicest people that shit get, like, we get hit left and fucking right. Like, we get hit left and right. Like, I don't understand it. And then when we go to distance ourselves and we crash the fuck out, now you're looking at us like we're fucking out of our minds. We're fucking crazy. No, it's not even that. It's the nicest, most kindest persons always get punched in the face, stabbed in the fucking back. Like, I don't fucking understand it, bro. I'm a down-to-earth person. I would give the jacket off my back for a motherfucker. Like, I just don't get it. I don't fucking get it. But you know what?
Start loving yourself.
Me being in this situation that I'm in, bro, it's made me so much fucking stronger. It has, bro. So much stronger to the point where, like, I just
encouraging.
Write it out, crash out in my fucking journal, and I move on, bro.
That's nice.
I move on, bro. I move on, bro. I move on, bro. And it's okay. I'm just here to tell everybody that is the nicest, most down-to person in this world. That
Here's the thing they don't tell you. You have to make your life happen as an adult. What I mean by that is when you're young, you're in school, so you have community, and your parents probably put you in sports, and so you have physical activity, and you have things keeping you accountable, and things keeping you healthy, and things keeping you social. When you get into the real world, you don't have anyone doing that for you anymore, and it's so easy to just kind of go, well, that was the magic of childhood, but so much of the magic of childhood is just things that were being set up for us, and we just weren't privy to the behind-the-scenes workings of making that happen. And as an adult, the more that you can get excited about taking on the responsibility of making your life happen, making plans, reaching out to people, signing up for group sports, signing up for activities, starting clubs, joining clubs, getting new hobbies, going out in nature, like doing things you wanted to do as a kid, doing things you did do as a kid, learning on your own accord, the more that you make that stuff happen, the more life you get to live. And I think obviously it's increasingly hard these days with phones because it's so easy to fill our time. At any given moment, you can just pick up your phone and get that dopamine hit and feel like you're doing something.
True that.
You don't have to sit around and be bored anymore. That boredom used to propel us to go make things happen, but now we don't have boredom to propel us. We have to propel ourselves. I'm personally finding that, like, the less I use the phone, the easier it is to do that. I hate to be all, it's the damn phones, but, like, there's a little bit of the damn phones. But I just want to inspire you to just maybe if your life is feeling a little empty, just like pick one thing, pick a hobby, pick a skill you want to learn. We unfortunately do, as adults, have to kind of take responsibility for making our lives happen. As Doechii said, life is like a bicycle. It don't move unless you're pedaling.
So you know how they say that you cannot heal in the same place that hurt you? Well, when I removed myself from the place that hurt me and I started healing, absolutely nobody, not even my therapist, prepared me for the amount of anger I was going to feel when I started reflecting and realizing just how much injustice transpired throughout the course of time, just how much damage was actually done to me internally. And so it wanted vengeance. I remember this feeling like I need vengeance. But what I really wanted was peace, and what I really wanted was justice. And I'll tell you right now that seeking out your own revenge and seeking out your own vengeance, it's only going to rack up your bad karmic debt. If you believe in any sort of higher power, then you best believe that higher powers are all about justice. And justice is a lot better than vengeance because they take care of karma, but they make it just. You rack up good karma, you let go, you find peace. They handle everything else.
I've been in a relationship for 2 years and my boyfriend and I have never fought. It's not because we're that compatible, it's because I literally studied interpersonal psychology. Oh my god, I am so passionate about this. Especially in a relationship, it shouldn't be me versus you. It's us versus the confusion of understanding each other. For my Ivy League psychology degree, I literally spent an entire semester in a class called perception. And the next word you need to know is perspective. While perception and perspective seem kind of similar, they're actually very different. Perception is your subjective experience of the world using your 5 senses. But perspective is understanding and recognizing that everyone has their own unique perception of the world. When most couples fight or argue, it's usually got to do with some sort of communication error about where each party is coming from. One person is saying one thing, the other person is saying something else, and it's not getting through to each other. And it's usually because even from the same factual event that happened, people can have infinite different interpretations. Yeah, I can go off about this because I'm kind of a nerd in this field, but what can you use? What can I actually incorporate? The goal is clarity. It's clearing the confusion, not... And I think that's why my boyfriend and I never fight, because when I don't agree with something he's doing, I'll just ask him to clarify. Like, can you explain that to me in more detail? Because my small brain is not comprehending what you're saying, but the more you explain, I think I might understand your perspective. I had to spend an entire semester learning this, but cheers to learning things faster on the internet.
Doing everything right doesn't guarantee a win, because sometimes the situation doesn't need the right person. It needs the wrong one. Some people don't grow from love. They grow from pain. Some lessons can't be learned through success. They have to be learned through failure. Sometimes the situation doesn't need the most capable person. It needs the person that's going to mess up really badly, so everyone involved can see what needs to change. That's why you could be the perfect fit, the most prepared, the most qualified, and still not get chosen. Not because you weren't enough, but because that wasn't your assignment. We live in a world that tells everybody they should win just because they showed up. But that's not how it works. Winning requires alignment. And sometimes, no matter how hard you work, no matter how right you are, you still won't win. And that's okay. Because if it was really for you, losing wouldn't even be possible. Don't waste energy trying to prove yourself to something that was never yours. Take that energy and go where you're actually meant to be.
I have a wild story for you. And this story might potentially save your life or someone you know's life. So here it goes. A friend of mine, right? His lady, she was pregnant. Or is pregnant. Not was. We'll say is pregnant. And I guess they had been in some type of rut in their relationship. So when she told him that she was pregnant, he didn't believe it. So she takes a pregnancy test and the test comes out positive. She shows that test to a friend of mine, right? He says, I don't believe it. As a matter of fact, you probably got that test from one of these cheap dollar stores or something like that. So it's probably inaccurate. I'm going to go pee on this pregnancy test and let's see what happens. So he takes the other test out the box and he takes that pregnancy test. And you know what? The test comes back positive. It says he gets the line on it that says he's pregnant. Or he's testing positive as pregnant. So he says, see, I told you these tests are cheap. They're inaccurate. They don't make no sense. So anyhow, she goes and buys a more expensive test and it still shows she's pregnant. So now he knows, okay, for a fact that she's pregnant. So that means that first test that she bought, it wasn't inaccurate. So curiosity made this man go research it. Why in the world would a male be able to pee on a pregnancy test and it come out positive? And the results will shock you. And I'm getting ready to show you something that will shock every single man on this planet. And it's something that we all should be doing. And you're not going to believe this. And I'm going to say it right now. Every man on the planet needs to take a pregnancy test once a year. This sounds crazy, right? Well, check this out.
Yes.
So this is actually true. Certain types of testicular cancer can produce a marker called beta-HCG, which just happens to be the same marker that we use to detect pregnancy.
Free game, fellas. If she fucked that man once, she'll fuck him again. If the bitch keeps suggesting having a baby, it's because she feel like she's losing control and she need a tool to be able to control you. And that baby will be that tool, just like a motherfucking controller to a goddamn PlayStation. If she's hella cool with your homeboy, she's either fucking him or telling him your business, or both. If the bitch is finna start doing her, you best believe the bitch been motherfucking doing her. If she got more than 2 baby daddies, she's a rat with a motherfucking trap. I said what I said. I don't give a fuck who's mad. If she allows you to come to her house within that first month, you are not safe there, sir. You're not the first nigga that's been there, and you damn sure ain't gonna be the only nigga that's been there. You're not safe. Have your strap with you. If the bitch is uneducated, she will not respect your intellect. I said what I said. She will always challenge your intellect.
True.
The things that you know, the things that you're trying to learn, the bitch will always challenge your intellect. It is what it is. If she lack accountability, guess what else she lack? Motherfucking substance. If she hate her kid's dad, it's probably because she cannot control the nigga. If she speaks to you with aggression or curses at you when she talks to you, baby, she don't fucking respect you, and it is what it is. Anything that she expects from you will never be appreciated because expectations turn into obligation. Obligations lack appreciation, and a lack of appreciation will fucking cause fucking separation. If the bitch in the club every weekend, she's searching for one or two things, another nigga or herself.
No.
If crying works on you once, baby, be prepared for her to cry all the motherfucking time. Please don't think that you can tell when a girl then had sex, baby. Coochie like a sponge. It's gonna go right back to its original motherfucking form, bitch, once the dick is out. And contrary to popular beliefs, fellas, squirt is motherfucking pee. Y'all great grandmas wasn't squirting. Y'all aunties wasn't squirting. If she ain't never have a father figure, she probably call you daddy, right? Oh, yeah. Or Poppy. Yeah. Oh, and, changing your acts of gratitude, like, fellas, y'all gotta stop just giving to bitches when y'all first meet them because y'all don't know if they in love with your heart or your hand. And you're soon to motherfucking find out. So, like I said yet again, change what you do and how you approach these bitches, because if you coming in cashing out, baby, she's in love with your hand. If you coming in with some shit that could fuel her, then it's your heart. But you're welcome. And don't say shit about my lash. I know it's coming off.
Wow, I like this. The last free game was crazy, and it taught us a lot of things, and also about the pee thing. Why should men... Did you pause it? I mean, I think I have to go back and watch it because I didn't read it, so I'll go back and read it. So you can do the same as well if you didn't get that part really well. I mean, we've come to the end. Very, very interesting videos, and yeah, I enjoyed myself. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with your friends. And also click on the notification bell icon so that any video that I post, you will be the first to get it. Adios amigos, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.